Alright, welcome to my first Let's Play series. We are playing Space Engineers 1 and with a rather big list of mods. If anyone is interested, leave a message in the comments and I can share a link or a list with all the mods active. And one special thing that I've added here, the jump gate mod that is described on my YouTube channel with a couple of videos. And some plans to make that, well, more integrated as custom encounters and special encounters, but that is still work in progress, so we will first get started with a series, regular building and getting things set up. And the theme of the series will be to build up something like a mining corporation, or at least, well, specifically a broader automated mining setup using PEM auto mining scripts and mining on a couple different planets. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. We are starting on the regular Earth-like planet, and I came down just a moment ago in this desert kind of area, and yeah, let's see what we can do with our rover here, because we need resources to get started with a base. So the first thing I usually do is to tear down anything I don't really need of that rover and reuse those parts to... Oh, come on, focus the right block, please. Reuse those parts to modify it a little bit to our needs. Because what makes sense is to have some kind of idle, well, mining going on while we're driving around looking for interesting encounters and a place to start our base. And for that I want to first of all add some more storage space, of course, because we don't really have anything in the standard setup of the rover. And secondly, setting up a drill on the backside, which might be strange, but you will see the benefit once it is working. I will explain the details of that. Alright, we have a couple of resources now. Let's see. I need to set up the build menu. So what do we need? We need storage containers. We need solar panels for later. Standard light armor block, and where are the utilities tools? Oh, and of course we need conveyors, because we need to convey stuff. So the first thing we will need is a bit better and bigger storage. Yeah, we need to produce some resources for that, of course. Some components. And then attached to that will be a converter, the flat version, oriented this way. Let's see, this way, and at the end of that will be a nice drill, and I'm using the new one from the... Was it the Core Systems update or Apex Survival? I can't remember. I think it was Core Systems update. And yes, I'm aware that will make our rover quite back heavy, but we will work on that in the next steps. Let's see, do we have enough? Oh, okay. That is already enough for the container. And yeah, you might notice I'm not a native speaker. I'm actually a German speaker, or native German speaker, so excuse my bad pronunciation at times. So while this is producing, we can also tear down some more parts. We don't need the spare tire back here. I'd rather have those resources. Plate. Ah yeah, of course we don't have a small tube, but that is not a problem because we don't need on Earth the small oxygen tank that contains one steel tube. Additionally, we don't need the air vent because, well, we can just breathe. Actually, we can just breathe like this. And that should give us, well, not enough still, but we will get there. So, the other thing is, I don't like the interior lights being used as headlights. Instead, we will use actual ones. So, let's see which block is that, this one. And for that, what I always like is here, the offset spotlight, which we cannot complete because we're missing bulletproof glass, but we have a bit of spare bulletproof glass in our cockpit that we can just steal. With this, we have proper far-facing lights, and oh, there was something popping up on our radar. We need to investigate what exactly is being produced here. That looks like too much. So we want to finish this part, which we can't because we need small steel tubes. But we can finish the drill. And the small steel tubes that we're missing we can get from here, from the ladder. This will give us plenty of small steel tubes. And now we have everything that we need to build that part. Now, let's get something out of the way first, because it will be a problem otherwise later on. Let's add another set of wheels further to the back, maybe here. And what I usually like to do is go into the armor blocks, then light armor, and just set up the whole list of things here. Actually, we don't need the first one, do we? We have it in our first menu bar with the quick access to all the basic items. People watching this that are used to the standard layout of how everything is sorted might notice there might be some changes. I can't even remember how the vanilla sorting looks like, but I have a mod running that is resorting those build menus. I think it was called rationalized build menu or something like that. It's pretty useful. So let's see, we have that one, we have this one, should be good for now, the rest we can add once we need it. Then, how's this built? It's using this one over here, and then we need to turn around to look at the bottom of things. That should give us a good access place for our wheel, and then it's attached like this, and the other parts we will just skip for now. And same thing over here, this way around. Because I'm low enough to get access to this part. Okay, then this way. Hold it up. And we might have enough already to build the wheels. At least the suspension should be doable. Let's see, we put that in here. Suspension. And this is using the regular ones, not the off-road suspension. And we need on the right side... What's being used here? It's this one? No. Or is it? No, that's the bigger wheel. I think it is correct. Yeah. And then we take on the other side the same one. Right here. And we, first of all, with build vision, we can copy all the settings, and now let's give it more strength. Where is it? There. And lift it up as much as possible, which probably won't be enough. Nope. So let's get away with the terrain. And now it works. paste the values again, not this one here. Paste, and we can do the same over here to mimic the values. What am I missing? Oh, 16 please. Let's get them to production. You can, by the way, do that with Shift middle mouse or middle mouse button. It will take whatever you have in your build planner and put it into the production, and then use the middle mouse button without any modifier keys to pull the items out. With that, we have the first rear wheel. Let's take the items for this one, get the remainder into production, and again here we copy the settings from that wheel, give it more strength, maximum offset, one piece away of the terrain, and okay, I was standing in the way. So let's pull out the items and use what we're lacking. A bit more. That we have. Okay. And again, paste settings, and here as well. Paste settings, and we're good to go. So, could even scrap some of the top parts here, but yeah, who knows, maybe we'll need those. So, we set up the drill in our menu bar, the antenna as well, because it can be useful to deactivate that once in a while. Survival kit we can keep as it is. Hydrogen tank is fine. Anything else we will build along the way. So, next step is we go into production and we just schedule with the, well, in the survival kit a couple of, I don't know, 10,000 ingots. Turn on our drill, release, and let's go. And with that we will get kind of a passive income, passive production of resources, because while we're going, the drill is scrapping just the top surface of the world. If I stand for a longer time in one place, you can see that the terrain is getting dented in, but it's not that much, and it gives us enough resources to go around and get some things building while we are heading towards that logistics outpost. That might be useful, because I know for a fact at least the unknown faction, that seems to be, yes, unknown, those are rather friendly towards the player, while others have set up, well, automated defenses and might blow you into parts. I know that at least the unknown faction is quite user-friendly, or visitor-friendly, let's say. The only question will be, how do we get there? Because that looks like rather bad terrain for a rover. Might be able to cross over there. So let's try that. I have to admit, I have my troubles with... Whoa! Yep, with rovers, usually. It's not my favorite pick of a vehicle in this game, since I'm never really good at setting up all the suspension settings and strength and so on of the wheels. It's more like guesswork for me, which kind of works most of the time, but then again, not always. Maybe wheel rear. This is now mid, not rear. Let's see, can we do something about Steering angle, I want to have a bit more steering. And should the mid ones shouldn't have any steering as far as I understand. Oh, okay, okay. This is deactivated anyway for the rear wheels, which is fine. And only active for the front wheels. So, I didn't notice that. Does that make sense though with 6 wheels now? I don't think so. So let's put some on the rear wheels. Steering. That gives us much more turnaround capabilities. And I think we can lower that again a bit more to be safe here. Strength is fine, height offset. Yeah, let's keep it at how it is. Alright, that will be difficult. I do have a mod active that is reducing the strength of the holes on the terrain. It's called Not So Smooth Voxels. But as you can see, doesn't really get rid of all the craters and uneven terrain parts. Just makes it that much that much more passable, or barely more passable compared to regular terrain. This is getting quite steep here. Wondering if it would be safer to really just go down. Let's hope that we don't crash our rover. Because we only have that one. Don't want to start again from scratch and be respawned who knows where. Although we have a gyro in the standard rover that we can use to kind of balance ourselves out a little bit in the air. I think that will work. What does the terrain look like over here? Oh, that looks much more passable. Much better, yeah. I like smooth terrain. Alright, so let's get going. I think the signal was somewhere around there. There's another plant. Which might be useful for us because we need to eat something at some point. Ah, the other thing I forgot. Let's see if we can get that done. Oh, iron. Interesting. Let's mark that. The other thing that we can probably make good use of is a solar panel, because we might be running out of power at some point otherwise. Do we place that? I don't think the parachute will be of much use to us, but yeah, who cares? I will just keep it in and see where we get with that. Let's do this, and we need a solar panel. Why are we using a solar panel, not anything else? Because we don't have resources for anything else beside that. It's really the only thing that we can build at the start. Girders might be a problem, but maybe we can get them from something else? Because I don't think we can produce them. We can? Okay, I was wrong, we can. Production. Oh, that looks good. Ah, there's something else I forgot. No, I might be missing... Yep, fuel low, that's the thing. Yeah, I might have messed something up here. Let's see. We do have a bit of fuel left. Do we have enough space in here? I hope so. So let's get rid of this and add tanks to our list. Because I know that with the resorted menus, tanks also contain... Well, hydrogen engine we can't really build because we can't produce large tubes yet, and I think power cells is also not an option. But what we can do is a H2 O2 H2 generator. Although placement will be a problem now with that layout that I have decided to go with for whatever reason. So maybe we can make some space over here. Pretty sure the outpost of unknown won't be gone that quickly, so just have all the time in the world to get there. Alright, so let's see. Does it fit now? There's still this part in the way. And that part. And sadly we won't have any way to attach it right away. We need to make some kind of, well, detour with the piping. Conveyor piping, but at least... Oh, come on. Clean that up. Alright. And then the piping. Let's see. What can we do? Oh wait, wouldn't it be better if... Ah, see, I messed that up. So let's tether down again and place it the other way around. If we can. Yes, we can. Okay. Because then... Again, wrong. So we need a conveyor port right here. Let's get rid of the parachute hatch, we don't need it anyway. And we need these small conveyor lines. Let's use a full one. And again the generator, because if we place it now like this, it's directly attached. Got all the parts and it is welded up. And with that, without... Well, we did collect resources, not without collecting resources, but we got all the parts that we need. And all the assistance on board that we need. Let's quickly check our center of mass. Yeah, still quite in the middle. That is not a problem at all. Because that can have an effect, quite bad effect in the worst case, on our stability when driving. But with that, we are set and can go. So let's see. What is behind that bridge? Ah, over there you can already see a small light. By the way, you can see, you get those lights that are rendered for every small and large grid that, and even stations. They are rendered once you have the, how's it called? Options, graphics, the photo mode active for light quality. Which might be a bit overkill for rendering performance. I'm not quite sure with other PCs, but it is very much useful for identifying grids in the far distance. Works on planets and in space, so I can always recommend to use that. One thing to mention, and you might have noticed that already, there are no unknown signals being shown or spawned, because I turned that off for this playthrough. So we don't have any, well, unknown signals to tear down and leverage their items. Oh, let's see, how does the train... Goes like this, okay. And it would be nice to not have any fog right now, but, well, that's how it is. Ice, oh, Underground ice. Interesting. Let's mark that even though it's not the right position. What is that? Oh, sunlight. Right. Soon we should be... Actually, I think we are already, yeah, producing low amounts of energy from the solar panel. Because that's also one of my concerns every time when starting a new build or a new run. What if we run out of power and first of all can't refresh our own power of our suit? Oh, look, that is nickel. Didn't notice any other markings yet, but they might show up later. Nickel. Ah yeah, and we're playing also with a different distribution of ores on this playthrough. It's called the scarce resources, I think, mod. Oh, it's the logistics drone. That is nice. Let's stop here, because I think that will be quite useful to us. Hello, over here. Come here. I've heard you have something for me, don't you? Oh yes, nice. Thank you very much. Oh, that's very friendly. We got spare parts. And not only that. We got... Ah, okay. Still need to hack it. Whoa. Okay, didn't expect that. Platinum? Right away? Zone chips? Okay, that's way too valuable. I did not expect that at all. I don't even know if you have enough space for those items. Like I said, the unknown faction is quite useful for starting a new game and very visitor friendly. We will also visit the station in a second, just to collect those resources and get rid of this. Because we can use all of those resources. Nice. Wow, that is really... That was really nice of them. Alright, where was it? I think it's that thing over there. That would be the logistics hub, yes, exactly. So I was going to say, we have the scarce resources mod active, together with the... what was it called? Deeper ores or something like that. But anyway, it's producing different patches of resources, not the vanilla ones where you have 3 different kinds always in the same place, and also much deeper veins of ores. So that setting up a mining operation is much more useful and makes more sense. And also, because it's the scarce resources mod, resources are not all on the same planet, and like usually in vanilla you have like all the resources on the planet. Except for platinum and I think uranium, those you find only in space. Here it's a bit different. I don't have it on memory right now how it's exactly distributed, but I know that for uranium, for example, you need to go visit the alien planet. Ooh, nice. 3 even of the proficient welder. Well, that is very useful. Thank you very much. A prototype frame? Wow, we are very, very lucky. Oh, lore. Still to be deconstructed. Studied until we can make it ourselves. No excuse. Oh, interesting. Oh, yes, iron I can use, and that as well. Oh, we can use all of that stuff. Let's see. I really feel we will run out of storage space quickly with our current rover setup. So what do we have here? I can't access that. Ah, access denied. Okay, makes sense. Ooh. Ooh. Oh god. Not enough resources. Not at all. This doesn't have a docking port, does it? Not really, no. Uh-oh. We couldn't deposit all the items, so I guess we might be running out now. Let's see, does the bed contain anything? Another data pad. Reminder, instead of slow, say the ship is intended for practice movements. Instead of power hungry, say it's built like a workhorse. Okay. Toilet? Nothing. Okay. Could be. Who knows? Interesting. Yeah. So, bit forgotten outpost here. So let's see, what else can we deposit? Nothing more of that type. What can we... Oh, it did already fill up everything that it can, didn't it? Ah, that's problematic. We need more storage space. And I don't really want to extend that even longer, because it will become very unhandy and unwieldy. Can we instead... Let's just hack it first. Let's hack it. Let's just put something on top of here. I know it will be very top heavy this way, and I really hope we won't topple over. Get rid of the items again and take everything that we find with us, because it will be useful. No, not here. Over here. Wasn't there some more stuff in this one? No? Thought there was more. Wait, did we also take all the scrap? No, we didn't. What am I missing here? Oh, okay. Yeah, wrong view. Alright. So I think we got everything that is available here. I don't want to tear it down because I don't want to mess with the faction friendliness, especially since it's such a useful faction. So let's deposit that stuff and enter again, and let's have a look-see. Ooh, do you see that over there? Hehe. Oh no, that might be the drone that we have. No, the drone was in a different place. That's not the drone. That's something else. Let's go. Oh yeah, turning speed is much slower now. Actually, let's wait. Wait. Let's do something else. I need to get lights again, because there's one very useful light, the searchlight. The searchlight is, like the name already suggests, a light that can be used to search around the area. But more importantly, it will help us to miss a large tube. Okay. We don't have anything else left that we can scrap for large tubes, do we? Doesn't look like it. Alright, then without it first. Let's go. Because the thing is, with the searchlight you have a remote controllable camera and light at the same time. It's pretty useful to look around the area and also zoom in when you have a camera that you look through. But since we don't have that at the moment, let's just get there manually. What this could be? Yeah, I have a feeling I know what that is, because I see something like a spotlight at the bottom. That might be the drone that delivered the items to us before. And in that case, it's not lying on the ground, but instead floating in the air, which does look like it. Does. Yes, it does. Okay. Then we can ignore that. It's nothing to get there. I don't see any ice nearby. Ideally, I would like to build a base near some kind of lake. And I don't see anything on the horizon this way. Also not there. Not the fastest rover that we have here. Let's take a look at what is over that edge. And yeah, in this playthrough it's just a standard solar system with the Earth-like planets, Mars, the alien planet, and all the 3 moons. But what is a bit different from the regular gameplay is that we don't have jump drives. So getting to those planets will be quite difficult. Oh, cobalt. Do we take that with us? We don't have enough capacity anyway now. We don't. We need to set up a base soon to get rid of all the stuff in our inventory. So there are no jump drives in this world. You can build them. You can even buy ships that contain them. That is not really an issue. But they basically have no capabilities. They let you jump for exactly 0 meters. And that is intentionally. Because... that as well. Because in this playthrough, I have installed the jump gate mod, as mentioned at the beginning, which is an alternative way to, well, get around the solar system. It's not complete yet, because for this playthrough I will need to add another extension, which is, first of all, jump gates allow you to build 2 gates that you can connect to each other. It's similar to Stargate, if for people that have seen the show. So you go through a gate and you end up on the other side. While in this mod it's not a gate that can be dialed to, but instead they are hard linked to each other. Because they come with a quite heavy power cost and resource cost to build. So the thing that is still missing is the capability to build, well, catapults. I don't have a good name yet. Maybe jump catapults or something like that. But the basic idea being that it works like the jump gates. How is it called? The untargeted jump or something like that, or blind jump. So you just build a catapult that looks into a specific direction, and again, it needs to be a station. I am not supporting anything that is a moving ship construction. And then you can get with a ship in that and get catapulted for the configured amount of distance to your destination. And that way we could basically build a small, well, not too small, but a colony ship. That looks like a lake over there, doesn't it? Well, let's get near that. We can build like a base ship, like a mobile base, and use such a jump catapult to get ourselves catapulted towards the next planet or moon. Set up a jump gate over there, connect them to each other, and have a way back and forth between them. And what I'm still working on is also a set of encounters that will allow us to, well, find gates that already exist in the world. Oh, I need to put on the brakes. We're going uphill all the time, and I didn't notice that we suddenly went downhill, which, yeah, became quite dangerous with the speed that we had. But that looks exactly like what I wanted. Now we have an ice lake here. That looks good. Yes, ice, I see. I'm aware. This is ice, yes. Nice. Let's make a marking quickly. Ice lake. Now, do we have any useful resources nearby? So that it makes more sense to build a station at a specific edge of that lake. And for those that don't know this, you can identify deposits from a distance even. Because usually, for example, on sand it's very easy. You will next to the... not next, but on the sand you will notice lighter, brighter patches in a kind of gray-white tone. And those indicate a deposit underneath. And every other kind of biome, like the grass fields, the desert, the ice or snow biome, and so on, they have a different kind of texture pattern. And over there, you can see it already on the edge of the screen. There is another deposit that we are moving towards. Let's see. That is silicon. Silicon is of not much use to us at the start of the game. Let's see if we can find something else nearby. And let's put on the brakes. Brakes. Not too fast here. Still silicon. Yeah, that's a bigger silicon patch, I think. So what I'm looking for is something like iron, of course. Ideally nickel. We do have those nodes that we could also look for. Oh, cobalt again. That is very useful. Can I brake here, please? Node. CO. In case we don't find any cobalt deposits, we can at least find the node this way. Because we need cobalt for a lot of different things, like metal grates. I forgot what the item is called in English. I've been playing mostly in German so far. Which we need for storage containers, for thrusters and whatnot. The time of day doesn't really help us right now to find things. Alright, I'm gonna search a little bit more around the lake, and we'll be right back when I find something. Alright, after nearly running around one full circle around the lake, we did find an iron deposit. It's a bit difficult to see where exactly the boundaries are of that, and I haven't marked it yet, so but this is a perfect spot. We have quite a lot of relatively flat space. We are next to the lake, so we can also collect ice for hydrogen production to go to space. And yeah, let's find a good spot near the iron fields. Maybe on that hill. That's a rather big deposit. Wow. Stretches quite far. And with the setup of the deposits that we have here, they can go very deep. So, alright. So our iron is over there. I don't want to build the base right next to it, because my plan is to use drones later on to collect the material. Instead, we might build our base yeah, maybe around here. No, you know what? Go one further. No, we will stay here. It actually looks quite nice, with a view over the lake and the big mountain over there. I like that. I like that a lot. You can already see a nice window in a base looking at that scenery. So yeah, that's where we will set up base. Alright. So, first of all, production. We will need a lot of steel plate. So let's get that going. And we need a good color theme scheme for our base. Let's see, what do we want to use? I usually like to go with darker colors. Let's see what... maybe a little bit brighter this time. And let's give it a slight tint towards bluish. And we can use clean armor, retro, weltless armor, battered. Let's use the standard armor. This way. Yes. Okay. We need steel. Give me some steel, man. That one's full. Cockpit is full. Everything is just full. I can't put that in there because it can't produce that item. Of course. Where does it fit? Maybe here? Yes, okay. Let's take 4 meals, because we haven't eaten anything yet. I think we're starving here. Alright, let's get going. We want to have our first block a little bit higher, maybe as high as possible here. The orientation would work very much in our favor for having a nice view towards that mountain. So let's get first blocks placed right at this position. That looks nice. Okay. We can work with that. Yeah, so how far to the back can we go? Because we really need a lot of space later on, and I want to have a mostly flat entryway to our parking lot for the rover, which we will use over and over again at this time. for multiple different, well, delivery runs not, but maybe exploration runs until we have a ship. Also we have our new welder, so let's see, character items, character tools, level 2 welder. Nice. Okay. So let me quickly get that welded up so that we have at least... No, not yet. We just weld up some of the inner blocks because that is a bit more difficult to do once we have things sitting on top. So we'll be back in a moment. Alright, we have a very small 3x3 platform, so let's see, what do we need first? A connector would be nice, but for that we need to rearrange our rover a little bit so that we know where the docking port would be. We get near from this position. We probably have a connector over here, so we can rearrange some of our items again. What do we need? We need conveyors first. And connectors. And storage was over here. Tanks. And with that the first row is already full. Let's see, the small inset connector should fit right away this at this position. Okay, that should work well. Let's see. No, I want to have the big version, please. Okay, let's go on to the next page. We need batteries. Batteries. And we need refinery that contains all the other adjacent or not adjacent, but all the relevant blocks belonging to that. Survival kit, food processor we need as well. Solar panel again for power production. And with that we can get started. Let's get our battery set up. We'll just do a very small setup first. Battery. The basic refinery we will place maybe around here, because this is going to be torn down anyway again once we have all the basics working. Basic refinery, where's the basic assembler? There, that one is quite difficult because it has only one connection site. Let's do it like this, and we need also storage. And what else? We will need power production. The easiest way to produce power will be with solar panels. No, sorry, with wind power for now, and then solar panels. There. Ah, I still had something else in my queue here. So, production, this is all going to be produced next. Oh yeah, and another thing that's in the that is different from regular vanilla in this mod pack is that our jetpack is quite limited. We can only go roughly, well, 5 to 6 meters per second, which can be a bit faster if we fall down, for example. So the dampeners will basically limit that as well to that speed. So we have slower than running speed, but it's enough to get things working in the air. And the main idea behind that is that I want to have ships. I want ships to be useful, and if all the ships travel at the same speed as our jetpack, then where is the use in going around with the ship, except for storage and tools attached to it? So I like it more in the way that it feels like an actual improvement, having the first ship running, even if it's a very bare-bone construction that just gets you off the ground. And the same goes for rovers. I mean, rovers, at least the way how I design them, because I'm not very good at rover design, don't go very fast. And with the way that the jetpack is as fast as the fastest rover and smallest ship, I don't see much of a benefit of using them if I can just fly around all the time and if I have a steady production of hydrogen. So this way, well, we still have a use for rovers as well, just to get faster from A to B. Okay, this. What else can we get rid of? Do we have space for that now? Hopefully. That much? Nope. Oh, NBSL Field Research Outpost. Interesting. Yeah, let's see. We need more resources. Still lack the small steel tubes to be able to connect, but we need even more because we need to build such a connector also onto our car here. And yes, I know, at some point we will probably want to have a big connector for the car, but for the start it's enough to have that small thing. There's something in production now? We don't? Why don't we have anything produced? Okay, basic refinery, basic assembler is the most critical part now. Am I hearing things? It sounds like there's shooting going on in the distance. And that might be the running production, but I don't know. Alright, while this is being produced, I will be back for a short moment, and once that is produced, we can hopefully build our assembler and start building things, tear or deconstruct. We can't yet with the small or basic assembler, but only with a big one, but at least we can produce more items and get the other machines running. So, see you in a bit. And we are back. Alright, let's see, everything has been produced, so we can hopefully build our basic assembler. Yes. And once we have that, basic refinery is next. Production. And where do we access? Of course, we can't have access to that because... well, that wasn't very smart of me. How can I access the content there? Small tubes, small tubes. Well, we used small tubes for the conveyor. And since we don't get access to those things here right now, we can maybe scrap them. Oh, it's not enough. Oh no. What else does uses small tubes? The only thing using them is this. That gives us 2 small tubes. Be just about enough. So... just to get this running. Production. We want to have small tubes, or not 100 of them, maybe 20. And that only takes iron, so... iron. Oh, we are running out of iron, I see. That is not good. That is not good at all. In that case... can we get a small cargo container up and running? Looks like much more useful to have. I don't think we can. Production, yeah, we ran out of stuff to do, to build. Okay, what we can do though is store the most important items in the conveyor, not the conveyor, in the connector. This is in the cockpit, so I can't get access to this. So this and that and that. You actually don't need the weapons. And I forgot that we can also look into this data path we got at the start. So some merchant keeps bragging about some really good deals at the station he has been visiting, but would not spill the details. However, I have happened to stumble upon this navigation computer during my intense shift, and this position kept popping up. Go see if there's any truth in what the merchant said. Gladly, we will gladly take that. So, where is that station? Okay, we just saved the position and show, and it is in roughly 40 kilometers away from us. Well, that is very far away. Nothing to look at for now. Okay, then, let's go on. We want to save as many items that we can, and that might be useful to us later on. So cobalt is another thing. The position and the tools we want to save. Silicon ore, platinum ore, all those ores are things that the rover can't really use itself. So we try to get rid of them from our inventory here. Store it all in there. Hopefully there's enough space. Anything else? Gravel. Let's take all the items out of here. Those components. And with that, we can get rid of this extra container once more. Stone goes in there. More resources. Okay, I think that we're fine now. Production is of course not starting because we don't have enough iron. And for that, we will use what we had before, our rear-facing, rear-pointing drill. Ah, wait. Not gonna make that mistake, of course. Base. We need to know where we need to get back to. Alright, then let's get going towards that signal and see what lies there. And I hope I didn't make any big holes into the ground by staying for a second with our drill active. Ah, I forgot something else again. Production. I want to produce stuff, of course. Since we're collecting stone. Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, we used the small tubes for our connector there. So we can't really produce anything or move anything from the drill into our survival kit at the moment. That has to be a manual step later. Alright, first let's get around the area. So going that way is not really a good option because of this canyon, so maybe we just go over the top of that hill. So yeah, let me drive over there and see you in a bit. Alright. Yeah, we're not gonna go any closer to that base because it has a security grid, and I know from past experiences those get activated once you get too close, and there's also not that much to get from there as far as I remember. Might be wrong though, but yeah. Instead, let's manually take out all the resources from here. push them towards our storage so that the survival kit can produce resources while we travel back. Not gonna risk getting blown up if we just found our place for a base. Place for base. And we also do need to get our power generation up and running on the base, because our rover is slowly running low on power. We have like 4 hours left of power in our battery. Not sure how much percentage that is. And the sun is still not up. And I don't know how much power we will actually get at that place where we are. This looks very steep. Did we get from here? Come from here? Yes, we did. What is in here? Silicon. Alright, we are back at base. And let's do a final shifting of resources over from the drill into our storage so that the survival kit can consume and produce items from that, and move everything over into our other generation or other assembler setup here. And yes, we're getting our small steel tubes back. Very, very handy to rebuild what we had scrapped before. This and that. And we have a connector set up. Nice. Okay. Whoa, okay, need to be careful with that one. I want to be able to toggle this on and off, and also switch locking and lock. Alright. Next up, basic refinery. That was fast. Yeah, so I would say let's get going and get some of this stuff out of here. No, that's the basic assembler, that was the wrong thing. Small insert connector is full of stuff, of course. Survival kit has stone in it. Let's get that all out. Move it in there. And unlock, turn off. Gained a little bit more on power, I think. And let's get going with our drill turned on, so we collect passive income basically. Hey. Let's want to have our ore detector running, and let's search for some nodes that have... Ah no, we can't really use them yet. Right. Well, we can still search for nodes and collect the materials inside, even though we can't refine them yet without the basic refinery, but in the meantime, while we're going around, we can also produce stuff with our survival kit, which I think needs to be queued again. Yes. Plants. So let's go. Alright, we are back at base. Time to dock. And let the basic assembler continue with the production of the items that we needed. Just looking for some more motors and more steel for our battery, and the storage container is also needing some more, in need of some more items. And we got our basic refinery set up. Small cargo container is nearly done. Should get us much faster at producing our items. Don't need the survival kit anymore for that. And it looks like we ran out of resources once more. That is not good. That is really not good. It's very fast when we run out of resources. We need some better drilling equipment soon. Actually, the refinery wasn't refining the stone, but the silicon. That is also not ideal. So, okay, let's get that going. Can we take some more items out of this for a storage container? Motors. Just a tiny bit of motors, please. Just those two motors that we need. No stone being processed any longer. Okay. That means we need to see where we get our motors from. Either we... No, we can't really take anything out of this. At least we can pull some items out from here. Why is the cockpit full of items? Basic refinery. Small insert connector. Survival kit. Let's place everything we want in here. And it went back into the cockpit straight away. I guess... Is that thing full, maybe? Not really. Okay. Different approach. Turn the block off. Push in the items. Let's take some of the stuff out again. And in there. Okay. We need more stone. We really need more stone. So what we also can do... not now, next time. Alright. Let's get going again for a little bit, so that we have enough to build the rest of our base and get done with this episode for now. It's not that much more that we need. Okay, let's see if that is enough. I did turn off the survival kit auto pulling so that the refinery will take over the production of items. Okay, withdraw power cells, but can we withdraw motors, please? Can we not? still haven't produced any motors. Why? Because the refinery is busy with silicon. And we have our first storage container. Perfect. No, what is missing is power cells. Just some more power cells. The rest we don't need. Just that. And while this is running, let's see, do we have enough resources to create those power cells? We need iron, 206. One here. Stone is already processed, so we probably won't have enough anyway. But that's fine. I mean, we have a battery coming from the attached rover, so we are powered. We have power production through the wind farm and solar panel once the sun is coming up again. And yeah, that should be enough for the start. Next time we will get those things finished. We will refine or, well, redesign our rover slightly to make it a bit more useful. And start building the next tier of machines, which is the actual assembler. Maybe even the big refinery, but that one takes more power and is more complicated to build. And also start looking into producing everything else, like O2, H2 and a cryo chamber, or at least a survival kit on the base instead of on the rover, so that we are fixed in this position. Alright, so let's get a bit of an overview here. I know it's dark, but this is as far as we got. We got our modified rover, we got our very basic setup for now. Still work in progress, have found a nice location for a base next to an ice lake, and I know for a fact that there is iron nearby. Yes, actually we have found iron 2 times. Okay, that's interesting. I have to check that one out next time, because I can't remember creating this _2 version. But we have an iron deposit over there, so that is useful as well. And yeah, let's see what we get next time. So thanks for watching, subscribe if you haven't done so, there will be more. And look forward to the jump gates being used in the future. See you around, and bye bye.